Never used StreamYard.
Sue, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the time out. I really appreciate it for a start. You're a busy lady. Let's start off with what made you want to do, because you actually are already a coach. You already have a coaching business. You've already taken other certifications. You already are earning money from a coaching business. So this interests me. What made you want to do the transformational coaching certification?
Okay, so I've kind of always naturally coached because I've been an acupuncturist for like 22 years and a sports therapy. So I've always coached my clients naturally. And then more recently, I've done group coaching. But what I felt like was missing was how I kind of just individually, one-to-one with somebody, kind of put a coaching program together to make sure that I'm doing it right for them, really. So
like structure. So actually, just to be 100% confident, I guess, lose any imposter syndrome of actually, am I good at this? Can I do this? And getting the structure of I get a client, how do I take them and help them transform from A to B?
Yeah, and to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for them, not just from my experience.
Yes, exactly. From in a strategy sense of this is what I need to teach them.
Am I going through everything that I need to go through? Am I checking everything off and making sure that I'm, giving them the best possible service that I can?
So that tells me you're somebody that is going to be a coach that really cares about value and delivery.
That is totally me. I want to make sure that I am doing the absolute best. Sorry, Madame Sparky. Delivery man. Typical, isn't it? I love it on a live. For me, I really want to make sure. I think there are so many coaches out there that are winging it. And for me, that's really important that you're not doing that, because you've got people's lives in your hand. That's how I see it. Really? And they are trusting you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really big duty to make sure that you are really looking after them.
So you did it to have that level of confidence in yourself, a level of confidence in what you were going to be delivering, and you were going to be providing an excellent service. I often say, this is not a certification program for somebody who wants to be a good coach. This is for somebody who wants to be an excellent coach. What were you nervous about? Thinking about doing it? I know you're an acupuncturist, right? So you're busy. You've got kids. You were doing up barns, right? You were renovating barns and stuff. You had a lot going on. So was there anything you were kind of a little bit apprehensive about?
So I think for me, time and money, I would probably say, were the two things.
Investing in yourself time-wise is difficult when you're busy, and investing in yourself monetary-wise, because it is an investment, and then you've got to trust yourself.
You have to commit to it and actually get it done and see it through. Yeah.
So since you started it, how has, I guess, that kind of waylaid your fears or the things you were nervous about?
Fine. Because for me, once I found that money and paid, in my head, that's done. I don't need to worry about that anymore. There's no going back with that one. No going back, because it's done. And in terms of time, I mean, sometimes it has been a struggle, but that is just my life at the moment. There's a lot going on. But everything is available on Catch Up. We've got a little WhatsApp group as well. So actually we help and support each other, all of us as well. So that's really, really good. So there's a whole little community going on there.
There's so many certifications, aren't there, where it's kind of everything's pre-recorded. You work your way through at your own pace, and there's not that community element to it, or I guess the feeling of the support there. How have you found that with this certification?
Oh, it's ace. I mean, Jo is there, whenever you want to answer questions, she comes back to you. She's amazing. And obviously all the other ladies, they've been on the coaching certificate with us. We're in a little WhatsApp group. Honestly, the support in there is unbelievable. And I dip in and out of there, depending on, some are more consistent, some are in and out. But you know what, even when I pop back in, if I've not been on for a couple of weeks, everyone is like, oh, it's really nice to see you again, Sue. How are things? It's so welcoming that you don't feel like if you're not part of it, you're not part of it. It's lovely. It's really nice.
I love that.
Lifelong buddies, I think, in there.
Lifelong, but and that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Sometimes, especially when you're kind of I know everyone's at a different pace, and that's fine. You take it at your own pace, but it's nice that people are on the same kind of journey as you.
Yeah, and I think because they're all training to be coaches, naturally, I think if you're training to be a coach, you're a kind of a caring, by nature, you must be a caring kind of person. So the care that's in that group is like, yeah, it's amazing.
You're not welcome, of course.
Yeah, but it is. I think naturally, you're not. I think if you're not that type of person, you're not going to be drawn towards being a coach.
Exactly.
So.
How far through the certification are you so far, and how has it like kind of met your expectations? Because I know you've done lots of other, got lots of other strings to your bow. So you've been through lots of different programs. Like, how does it match up?
Yeah, so we're probably about halfway through at the moment. Yeah, for me, it's been brilliant because I think, I mean, we did have a little bit, we were like the beta testing group as such.
So let's say that, and let's talk about that, because I love that, this open and honesty kind of thing. So you were the first intake, if you like, the first intake. And so it was very much about, let's go and we'll deliver, tweak and twist as we love feedback. We're not about making good coaches, we're about making excellent coaches. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I made a decision that I always watch things on catch up a lot of times, and I decided with this I was going to stick to it and really keep on top of it. So that was an end goal actually for the transformational certificate to happen. What actually happened was a few weeks in, I think maybe from feedback from us guys and feedback from Jo as well, realised that there was some elements that Jo felt was missing and that she really needed to expand on some of the units. And I love this about it because actually she did expand those units. So I think it was like maybe unit 3 turned into 3 units and suddenly it was all this more information was coming. And it was brilliant because so many other courses I think would have just sent us through and then changed the next lot of people coming through, but they didn't. Okay, but in that middle time, there was just a little bit where the workbooks weren't quite ready because it had changed. It changed for the better, and so I'm appreciative of that. So actually, I stepped back a little bit because I like simplicity. If I'm getting, I'm quite logical how I work. So I just stepped back a little bit until everything was in place, and then I'm just following up and catching up again now. And oh my God, I can't tell you the information that's gone in since the beginning is insane. I would probably go to say as far as it's nearly doubled with the information that's in there. So it is a really, really in-depth course.
Most people like have not built a coaching business or have not like taken the first step because they worry that they're not like, they haven't got the confidence, or maybe imposter syndrome shows up. And I think that when you are doing something so thoroughly, and we're obviously like Jo as your tutor, we're invested in, again, making excellent coaches, not good coaches. And so that's why, kind of the beta group, the originals, we'll call you the originals. I don't mind the word beta.
I don't either.
So the originals have really enabled, and I'm always open to feedback. We survey, as you know, people can answer anonymously. Like, we survey our certification students all of the time because it's really important to me that it's not like other certifications where you go on, you just work your way through, you pass a test at the end, they give you a certificate. It's more about, let's just collect the money. We don't care how good they are. We'll just let them out of the gates and whatever and let them go do their stuff. That's not what it's about. And I guess that's been pretty evident to you in the changes, the add-ons that were made.
Yeah. And even towards the end, even with the project that we have with the case studies to do, so in depth, and it's really good because I know that everybody going through that certification is going to come out and be amazing coaches. So then I'm proud to use that title that I trained with Entrepreneurship and the transformational coaching, whereas with other coaching certificates I've done and other coaching things, I'm less proud about shouting about who I trained with, because that doesn't sit with me the same. Whereas I'll be proud to say
the level of excellence, I guess.
Whereas I'd be more than happy and really proud to say where I've got this course from and that I'd really recommend it.
And I guess as well, with you building that kind of network within the certification, with the community that you have, if it gets to a stage where one of you's fully booked, you can't take on more clients, or you've got a full boot program, you will be more than happy, more than confident to refer anybody to somebody else because they've been trained on your level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody will end up also with their own kind of niches, won't they? So if you get a client that's coming to you that you think, actually, do you know what? I think you'd be better off with so-and-so. I think for me, that would feel better to say, do you know what, I actually think you'd be better working with whoever, because that's their love.
I trained with her. She's amazing. Yeah, I trained with her. She's amazing. I know she cares deeply about her clients. I do it all the time. I always refer people who are more specialists in certain areas, but only to people I know. So I guess having that community, like, and you'll know each other's niche. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, see, that's something I didn't even think of. Yeah. That's brilliant. What's been your? I think we kind of covered your experience so far. I know you've done other coaching programs, as we talked about. So how does this compare? Or what is different about it, would you say? I know the depth of it, obviously.
I mean, the depth of it, the content that's in there. I think Jo is, as probably everyone says this, Jo is just the most beautiful soul inside and out, right?
You know what? You've absolutely captured exactly what she is. She is the most beautiful soul. You know, if somebody told me they didn't like her, I think, red flag, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
She's like an earth angel. I don't get it. Yeah. She's so patient. Like, I mean, as a mother of young kids, I'm like, this patience. She's like an angel.
I mean, sometimes I question if she's human, you know, because she's just so beautiful. I'm like, is that real? off camera, is she horrible?
Hey, listen, all go out on some drinky poos, and you notice, even with a bottle of champers in her, she's still the same. She's even nicer. She'll give you hugs.
I can imagine. So Jo does make a big difference. Because also you can tell she really cares. She also really wants to make sure that we all leave that course truly, as she calls us, exquisite coaches, is what Jo calls us all the time. That's what she wants us all. But you can tell that she really wants that as well. And she really cares about the outcome. She isn't, you can tell she's not just got us on a conveyor belt, get us marked off, yeah, you'll be fine, sign that. You know, the feedback as well that we get from when we do the little tests at the end of each unit, we have little tests to do. The feedback, we get individual feedback from Jo. You know, it's not just a tick and a mark. There's feedback on there, you know. So that's really nice. So again, you feel like a person in there, not just.
You haven't found that with all other things that you do. It's not just like, that's how it is. I mean, I know from what I've done, you just don't get it. You don't get it.
No, you don't get it. And again, just because Jo's so beautiful, the feedback you get is so beautiful and so genuine, you know, and meant and personal for you.
Yeah,
which is great.
I love that.
And obviously, the other thing I would say is obviously this is certified.
Yes.
It was a big thing for me. I went through a coaching certificate before that was supposed to be certified and turned out not to be certified. So it was really important to me that what I did next was
100%.
I was 100% certified.
Yeah. How confident do you feel? How much more confident, I should say, because you're already a coach. But how much more confident do you feel since starting the certification that you can like deliver this level of value? Because I can tell, like, you're like, I want to be exceptional, exquisite, as Jo says.
Exquisite, yeah. I think because remember that when you're on the course with Jo, you are working through all this stuff on you at the same time. So actually, you come out of the course a different person. You learn a lot about yourself. I've done coaching before, and I've had coaching, but every time you drop down another layer and you find something else out about yourself, and you figure out something more that you didn't know. And you just, I don't know, you just become able to learn and love yourself even more.
One of the other coaches, Debs, said exactly the same thing. She said, Emma, even if somebody didn't want to actually become a coach, this is like the best personal development. Like, get to know yourself, figure out who you are, learn how you react and respond to things and how you can do things better. She was like, even if you didn't want to build a coaching business, I would recommend that everyone did it for their own personal development.
I totally agree with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Amazing. So what would you say to people, Sue, that were thinking about doing the certification?
I think if you're looking for certified transformational coaching, for me, I genuinely wouldn't look anywhere else. I've got absolutely no regrets about doing it. I've got no problems at all with the course, with anything around it. Everything, if there's been any little niggly bits, they've been sorted out. You guys are brilliant at listening to feedback, sorting anything out. But whoever joins next, you won't have that because we've sorted them all out.
True, yeah.
But now, yes, thank you very much. Yeah, but honestly, you know, if working with people and wanting to understand how people's minds work and how you can help with their thought processes and help them see life from a different viewpoint, and it, like Deb has said, and like we've just said, if it's for you as well, just go for it. Honestly, you will not regret it.
Thank you so much for, I know you're busy with all of your businesses and all your renovation stuff as well. So thank you so much for taking the time, Sue. I really do appreciate it. And you know, I'll be referring people your way, be like, Sue's the expert for that.
Send them on.
Thank you so much, my darling. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.